Hey mathematicians, and welcome to your small group today. Today we're going to continue our conversation that we've been having at the back table in mini lesson. We've been having this conversation in your rotations, and we're going to keep going with it today as you practice and have a small group with me virtually. So for small group, we're going to continue to think about fair share and measurement problems. We're going to think about using this chart as well to help us determine if it's fair share or measurement. So that when we're not sure after reading a problem it's fair share or measurement, we can think about these questions. The first is, what are the groups in the problem? The second is, does the problem tell us how many groups there are? And after we're able to say yes or no to that, we should know what type of problem it is. It's either fair share or measurement. And if it's fair share, then we know the amount of groups, and we put those groups over on the side here, and we try to figure out our answer up here at the top. And then the number that we're dividing goes in the middle, and we decompose that in lots of different ways. If we say no and it's measurement, then we know how much goes up here, so we put that number here, and we're trying to figure out how many groups we can make with that number. So let's practice that together. We're going to look at this problem together first. It says Grant wants to go on a bike riding trip. He wants to travel 42 miles. If he goes 7 miles a day, how many days will it take him to complete his trip? So right now, let's think to ourselves. Do we know the groups in this problem? What is the groups in this problem? Think about that and enter it into PlayPosit. If you said it's days, you're right. The groups is days because we want to know how many days it's going to take him to complete this trip. We're going to take this 42 miles and split it into days, 7 at a time. So we know that the groups are days. Do we know how many days it's going to take? Does the problem tell us that? Enter your thinking into PlayPosit. You're right. No, it doesn't. So that makes this problem measurement because we don't know how many groups there are. So one thing that you've gotten really good at is making groups. So you'd make a group for one day and we'd put 7 inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's one day. But we know that we need another day to get to 14, and we're going to keep going until we get to 42 miles. So there's 14. Now I have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I need to keep going until I get to 42. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. If I add 7 more to 28, that's 35. If I add 7 more, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So now I have 42 miles split into days, and I've only put 7 in each day because the problem said he's only going to go 7 miles a day. So my answer is the groups. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So my answer is 6, and our groups are days. Now we need to work together to change this into an array so that our thinking can be more organized. So this is a great strategy, but to be more efficient and organized, we want to be able to make an array. So when we make that array, if we go back to this chart, we know how many are in each group. So we're going to put that 7 for 7 miles at the top. But I don't know how many days it's going to take. I know because I already modeled it, but if I just had the array and I didn't have this picture yet, I wouldn't know how many. So if I start with 1 day, I know that's 7 miles. So now I've got 7 in my array. Then I have another day, 7 miles. Keep going. Now I have 14. Now I have 21. I want you to get out pencil and paper and keep going with this array. Make this array and keep going with it. I want to know what you get for an answer. How many days will it take? And then you can check with me. All right, I'm going to keep going. I've got 21. Now I've got 28. If I add another day, that's 35. And if I add one more day, that takes me to 42, which is 42 miles. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And I've got 42 miles. So my answer is still 6 days. But this thinking is much more organized and much more efficient. So we're going to work on taking our picture and changing it into an array. So I want you to try that with this problem. Here's what it says. Peyton is giving away some of his shoes to his nephews. He has 42 pairs of shoes. If he has 6 nephews and he wants to give them all the same amount of shoes, how many shoes will he give each nephew? All right, back to the chart. The first thing we need to ask are, what are the groups? So what do you think the groups are in this problem? Enter that into PlayPosit. If you said nephews, you're right. We want to give those shoes to his nephews. Those are the groups we're splitting the shoes up into. Do we know how many nephews there are? Enter that into PlayPosit. If you said yes, you're correct. And that makes it, because we said yes, fair share. So we know that we're going to make 6 groups and split evenly until we get to 42. I want you to open up Braining Camp and then come back to this video, or use paper and pencil or your tools to solve making a picture. So make your 6 groups and then split those tiles evenly among those groups. Once you've done that, enter your answer into PlayPosit and we'll check together. Okay, let's check. So we're making our 6 groups. Got 2 here, here's 2 more, and here is 2 more. So I'm going to put 42 in each group. So I'm going to start by putting 2 in each group. And when I do that, I'm going to have 12. Now I'm going to put 3 more in each group. Oops. That's going to make me have 30 in each group, or 30 total. So I'll have 5 in each group. And then I'm going to put 2 more in each group. So now I'm going to have 7 in each group. And I'm going to have 42 total pairs of shoes in my picture. So my answer is going to be 7 shoes. Now, if I want to make an array out of this, how would I do that? Go ahead and try to make an array that represents this as well. And then you can check it with me. Once you've done that, enter the answer, how many shoes, into PlayPosit. All right, let's look. I'm going to make this array. This time, I know how many groups there are. I know that there are 6 nephews. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I can give each nephew 2 pairs of shoes to start. If I do that, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now I have 12 shoes in my array. Then I can give each nephew 3 shoes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And I know 18 plus 12 is 30. I need to get to 42, so I'm going to give each nephew 2 more shoes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Now I have 42 pairs of shoes. So my answer is up here at the top. I have 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 2 more is 7 shoes. Do you see how if we make a picture or we make an array, we get the same answer? But this is more efficient and much more organized. So as you continue to think about making pictures and making arrays, think about how you can be more efficient and organized in your thinking. Now that you have finished your small group, you are ready to click next and move on to reflection. So you can stop the video and click next now. Great job in small group today.